Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to start writing our first JavaScript program. For that, writing JavaScript program, we're going to need a text code editor. So for the most famous code editor is VS Code. You can download by writing on the browser VS Code, and you can download from here. So I have already created a folder in my laptop, so right clicking on it and open VS Code in this folder. So let me just create a file for you. So this will create my HTML file. So I'm creating HTML file for making dummy web page. So whenever we're writing JavaScript on the web page, we're gonna need an HTML, so we can link our JavaScript file to HTML. So I will do this, and I will write script tag, and in script tag source attribute I will link my JavaScript file. So here I will create my JavaScript file, and this is my HTML file. So notice that with extension .js is JavaScript file. So let me write a program for you, very simple and short program, line of code of JavaScript. So I have written console.log here. Sorry about that. So console.log. So here, as you can see, I have written console.log hello, and I will go here and after clicking on my page, and after clicking the console from my web page, so you can click F12 and console will be open, and you can see hello is already printed here. So what this will do print any number, text, or any data you will put inside this log brackets. This will print on this console. So I can also do console any number. This will print me number. I can also do calculations here. This will print me 4 here. Yes. So right now this is a very short and single line of code for writing JavaScript, for printing JavaScript, any data, value, or anything. So as speaking of the data, as you can see here, this page is displaying some data, and we also for carrying the data we also need something to hold that data. For holding that data, there is called variable. So what is a variable? Variable is used to store data in our programs. So right now variable is used to store data in our programs. So let's just start with creating our first variable. For creating a variable, you must have to follow the syntax. Every language have its own syntax. JavaScript has its own syntax. So first you will declare you will write a variable keyword. After variable keyword, there will be a variable name and semicolon, and here is example, like this is the variable keyword here, and there is a variable name x. And let me tell you also, this also called variable declaration. It's also a variable declaration. So now this will tell my browser that there is a variable x. Now I want to also tell what it holds, so I will tell browser that it will hold 5. Now this is the step called variable declaration. Variable keyword first, and then variable name, and This step is called variable initialization. So we have declared here and we assign this value, put this value in this variable. So how this work? Let me give you a demo. So you can see, examine and think like this, that we have a bucket. When we declare a variable name, a bucket have the label of that variable name, and when we put a value inside that variable, assign that value into the variable, and that bucket will have that value. Let me tell you, this is assignment operator. In languages, programming languages, this operator is assignment operator, not equal sign. Alright, so this is telling that assign this value into this variable. And now you can also write this into one line like this: declaration initialization in one single step. All right, so now I will console it and show you the result. Var keyword variable. So after refreshing here, you can see var keyword variable 5. Now we have created our first variable, but there is two more ways to create JavaScript variables. There is called keyword like let. We can also use this to create variables. So let me console log it, and here you can see 10 with keyword let. And the third one is const. So with the const, you have to not just declare it, you have to initialize along with it. Suppose if you write like this, this will not work, this will throw an error. So you have to also initialize along with it. So const is the variable which does not reassign itself. Reassigning means, suppose I have created a variable here var x with the value 5, right? So if I change this value here, I will set 6, then this will change the value and print 6. So variable that which values, variable which can change values, it varies. All right, so also if I write here y with 7, so it will change the value and return 7 here. Now y is changing itself, so for that, as program runs from first line, then it will go to line by line, and when it sees here's a variable declaration, here's an initialization. So after then, when it will come to this line, it will see that x is again initialized with 6 value, so it will change its value. Like if it has a value of 5 here, I will change it to 6. Now this will assign 6 to x, so this bucket will gonna have 6 value in it. So but with the const you can't do this. Suppose if I try to do this and console it, it will throw me the error, type error assignment to const variable. So you can't reassign the value to the const variable. Now there is also one thing that is let me show write it down to you. I have tell you about declaration, initialization, var, let and const. Now if suppose you have declared consoling a variable that is not a declared, suppose I have consoling first, so what it will throw, it will throw an error. Wait a second. Yeah, so it will throw a error, reference error, first is not defined. Why it is not defined? You can see in this code file I have not write first. I did not declare first. So you have to must declare a variable first, then you can console log it. So here it will now throw undefined. Now there is also a defining and undefined. So when we declare a variable and not initialize it, it will automatically have the value of undefined, that it has no any value defined along with it. So that's why it will throw undefined. Or if you don't declare it and you're calling it here, so it will give a reference error, first is not defined, because it can't first find the reference that where is the first defined. So now it will find and it will tell you that it has undefined, that it has no value. It has declared but it has no value in it. So when we put a value in it, then it will console.log that value. Now there is also a question like why we need three variables? Why can't we just use var or let? So in the older versions of JavaScript we always used var, but it also has a side effect. Suppose I have declared a variable here, var value with 10. So this is a global variable. A global variable means you can access in anywhere only in this file. Like if you return 100 lines, if you have declared var variable in line number 20, but you can also access it, you can also console log it in line number 100 or line number 99, also in functions. So functions is another thing, we will learn that later. But suppose I have a function here that is a add. So suppose I am calling this function value here, return value, and I have reassigned it. Suppose I will reassign to it 20. Now value divided by 20, I will call this function. So let me add, let me put a console here. So before and after. Now you're gonna see what value was before and what value after redeclaring it. So you can see here, see, before before it was 10 and after it became 20. It changes its value, and when we do calculations with it, it has 20 divided by 2, it is 10. You can see that it changes the global value. So this will throw an error if you for example, if you declare a global variable on the top and there's a lot of functions that are using it, so this will cause you a lot of bugs. So this is the not a good practice to use var variables. That's why we have let keyword. So suppose we have let, I will redeclare it here, and let, I have declared it now with the let. So let's just see here, let with the value 20 before with the value 10. So it will not change its value, and the function execute this operator on this value, let variable with get let. So this is also a good practice to use let in the functions, and not a good practice to use var as a global variable. So now you can see that you can ask can we only just assign numbers to our variables? No, we can assign anything to our variable. So there's now called data types. So what variable contains what data type, what type of data is containing? So there's data types like string, numbers, boolean, null or undefined, and object. So this is the 6 most used data types in JavaScript. So now let me tell you what are these. So string, let me declare a variable with, so string, anything that comes in quote. So this is the double quotes, start and ending, and you can put any text inside it, and I will console it. Let me just comment it out, all of the above code. So this will print now string here. So you can see any text value we have in the programs or anything, that is a string. And for the number, you can do like this, so it will have number inside it. So you can also declare with double quote and also do with single quote like this, single quote, and also you can use double quote, and also you can do this with backticks. This will be the same result. So this will print the same result. So now we have string here, we have number. So number, it can be any integer number or it can be float number. It can hold both like this. So with the boolean is have means it has two values like true or false. You can say false as 0 or true as 1. So you can do like this, like bool with true. So this is a boolean value with the true, or you can also like put false here. So this will declare false. 0 also means false and 1 is also means true. So now we have null, undefined, and object. So null, what is a null? In JavaScript, null is a special data type, and that means null special data type means it empty, nothing, intentionally no value. Like if I set here this variable, if you console this, I have set null here. It does not mean that it is undefined, undeclared. It just empty, nothing. Intentionally it has no value inside it. See, null. In future we will see the use cases of the null. So let's just give me one more, like undefined. So you can also, like above, we before we have studied what is undefined, like when we declare a variable and we console log it, it has no value inside it, like it was undefined, right? So there's a lot of, one more thing that you can't this is not a good practice to assign a variable to undefined. This is not a good practice, because as I have already told you, suppose if you do this and console log this, this will already give you undefined. So whenever we don't initialize any variable, it automatically set undefined into it. So we don't have to like do this, write undefined and tell that. We don't do this. So there here comes null. So you can do this with null. Suppose in a scenario that we are expecting some value, but first we put null, assign null into it, so that when the value changes, the expected value will get replaced instead of null. So this is the most common data types. So object, when you see things around you, everything is object. So object is a very complex and very important concept in every programming language. So we will see and learn about objects later on. So that's all for this video. We have learned about variables, how we can declare it, how many ways to declare, use it and declare it, and what are the data types. So in the next video we will see the conversions of the data types, and also we're gonna learn about object. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching this.